And then I started getting this influx of orders, and I was in class. And I was in class at Western, and I was like, where are all these orders coming from? Like, nobody even knows me. And then I saw a DM from her, and she was like, hey, everybody was asking about your lashes, and da-da-da-da. And then I seen that all the orders were coming from California.
Right.
And I was like, wow.
Now, when you graduated high school and you decided to go to college, like, did you know what major you was gonna chase, or you was just going to college because like it was the next step?
It was kind of both. So like I went to college because I wanted to get out the city. Like I was like, well, I want to do something. And then most of my family, like my mom, she was in school at the time. Most of my family, they're really into education. So I kind of felt like college was like an easy way for me to, one, get out the city, and I'm on point. I'm on task to do something. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to work towards something. And so at that time, I was really into fashion. For a long time, I was really into fashion, like designing, merchandising, and styling all through high school. That was like where my interest was at. And so I initially went into school as a fashion merchandising major.
Did Simeon help with that? Like it was a class or something catered around that?
Not really. And Simeon was a career academy. So when I say career academy, it was basically like at Simeon, that was one of the few schools in the city where they focused on career enhancement, so like building up your career. So you could choose these different majors that was almost like you was in college. And it would be like hair was one, technology was one, which was mine, hair, technology, automotive. It's like 7 or 8 different programs that you could get into. And so mine was technology, so it was totally different than fashion. And I really kind of just did that one because I was like, well, it wasn't something I was crazy about. Like I never wanted to work in technology, but I was like, I could learn how to do Excel and like Word and like all the programs and stuff really good in this program. So I'm just gonna do it just because. So no, they didn't really help out with that. But what I will say though, Simeon was also one of the few schools that did not have a uniform. So we didn't have to wear uniforms, so everybody just came dressing and styling every day. So that did kind of help in the sense of like, I had to get up and find something to wear every day.
You had to be fly.
I had to come a little fresh. That was that type of school. So
when you do make it to college, like tell me like what's that first year of figuring it out like?
My first year, so I didn't really know anybody. I had a cousin that went there, and he was like a year ahead of me. But we weren't that close. Like our common thing was that he went to Western. Like I never hung out with him outside of that. And so it was really like a lot of just figuring it out. I was still I was just breaking out of my shell. Like I wasn't as shy as I used to be, but I also wasn't used to being around all of these different types of people and stuff like that. So I lived in a dorm hall, and of course I shared the floor with all girls. And I was pretty like, I was reserved, but I would go out and stuff at the same time. So like I wasn't the over popular girl, but I also wasn't like a complete lame. So I think my first year, I actually got into several fights. I got into fights. My grades were decent, and I had started making friends, losing friends. That first year was like a real up and down type of thing. But overall, like, I do remember at one point I was ready to go home. Like, I remember calling my dad, like, I don't want to be here. And it was because I got into a fight and I got in trouble. But I remember calling my dad, like, I didn't want to be here anymore and stuff. And he was like, oh, you're going to be okay. Like, just stick it out. And I ended up sticking it out. And I ended up meeting, like, some of my lifelong friends in college, too, that year. So it was up and down, but I figured it out eventually.
College is definitely a stepping stone that I think a lot of people should branch off into. Even if you don't finish college, like you should definitely go away to college and just live that dorm life, because it teaches you how to sort of fend for yourself, you know. Because I went to Jackson State University, and
Jackson State is a nice school.
This was way different than Chicago, but it was a lot of Chicago at the school, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I just went to college just to go to college. My homie told me, he was like, man, you need to go to the financial aid department to make sure they got your financial aid. I was like, bro, what? Of course they got my financial aid. If they want this money, they gonna get my financial aid. So I never took his advice. I didn't go to financial aid. Then I found out that they didn't get my financial aid, and I owed them $5,000. And I'm like, damn, that's some bullshit. You feel me? But that was like me not taking care of my responsibility because there
Yep.
wasn't nobody there that was gonna do the shit for me. So I learned that off the jump. Like, bro, you an adult now, shit. You
Yeah.
gotta take care of your business. Now, at what point did you get into marketing?
So I got into marketing. My major, I graduated with my degree in marketing. That is what my bachelor's is in. Around my sophomore year, as I was in the fashion merchandising program, I was still thinking I was going to go into styling and buying and selling as a fashion merchandiser. And I had came home for like some type of break, and I was talking to my aunt, and I was telling her that I was in the fashion program and everything. And she was like, you know, you should do marketing instead because it's more broad. So say, for instance, if you don't want to do merchandising anymore when you graduate, and you have a marketing degree, you can go into almost anything under that umbrella because fashion merchandising kind of falls under the marketing umbrella. And so I was like, you know, that kind of does make sense because I also looked around in that industry and I saw like it wasn't something that you could quick fast get a high paying job and everything in either.
Right.
And so also at that time I was just getting into entrepreneurship. So that was another reason where I was kind of like, well, it wouldn't hurt for me to just learn marketing, you know. So that's what actually made me switch my major, and it was the best decision I could have made. I'm so happy I followed her advice.
Talk about jumping into the entrepreneurship. Like, what prompted that decision?
So I would say, like, I've always been into selling stuff. Like, I always sold stuff. That was just something I would do. Even from like when I was a teenager, I was always selling stuff. And then when I was in college, what really probably created Lash Candy, honestly, where it started off at, I was selling sunglasses. It were these like bedazzled sunglasses that had like these rhinestones and really pretty gems and stuff on them that were popular like one summer, like 2017 summer or something like that. And they were super expensive. They were like $100 some, $200. Like they were super expensive.
Just for you to buy them?
Mm-hmm. Like it was something I wanted, like for myself.
Oh,
like
okay.
I just wanted to buy these sunglasses for me.
Okay.
And they were so expensive, and I was like, I could make these myself. And so I ended up going to Michael's and like to some craft stores, and I ended up creating my own sunglasses, like the ones I wanted online, but it was way cheaper for me to create them myself.
Right.
And somebody liked them, and I was like, oh, I could also sell these. So I created a business from that, selling sunglasses. So I had my sunglass company, and it was named Official SBY. And then also right before that, I was selling these T-shirts. Like I was always just selling
So
something.
you just a hustler.
Yeah, I was just a hustler in college. And so I was doing both of those. And then the summertime came, and I was like, darn, like I can't sell sunglasses no more because, I mean, not the summer, the wintertime came actually. And I was like, I can't sell my sunglasses no more because it's the wintertime. And so I was like, well, I got to do something else because I started this business. And then I was like, well, I can sell lashes because I also did makeup on campus. And so I was like, I can sell lashes because I'm really into that. And then that's how my lash brand was born. And I continue working on growing that.
All right, let's focus on the lash brand. How difficult was it for you to find the quality? Because I know it's different. I don't know much about lashes, but
Yeah.
I know Walgreens sells some dollar lashes, you feel me? And then I know it's more expensive lashes. So what was that process like from finding the quality?
That probably took me about a month. It started off with YouTube. So I was always, like I said, I was into makeup already. So I would watch makeup tutorials and stuff. And so I was like, okay, I want to do lashes. Let me figure out where I could get some lashes from. So I literally went on YouTube and I typed in, where do you buy wholesale lashes? And then all the vendor sites popped up, like AliExpress came up, Alibaba came up, a whole bunch of different stuff came up, and it was girls who like bought wholesale lashes, their videos came up, and I just watched a ton of videos, and a lot of them tagged their vendors.
Right.
And so since I already saw that they were backing up these vendors, I'm like, okay, this is where I get my test orders from. So I found like 3 vendors from YouTube, and I ordered lashes, and then I waited till they came, and then I tested them all out on myself, and I tested them on my friends. And then after like a couple of days or a week, I had already figured out which vendor I wanted to use. And so I didn't have a lot of money at that time, so I ordered probably like 10. I didn't order a lot at all. I ordered maybe like 10 styles, and then I was selling those. I sold mostly to my friends and people on campus. At that time, I was just diving into e-commerce. So like I had created a website for myself. I took some pictures and stuff, and I was trying to build up the Instagram. And then that was pretty much where it went. I stuck with that vendor over time, and over time I went back and I was able to buy more and more and more, and then it just went from there.
Now explain the process of just starting to actually blowing the fuck up, right? Because a lot of people jump off into the entrepreneur lifestyle and they think it's gonna be easy, and that 1 month turned into, oh no, I'm done with this shit. You feel me? So what was the process of like actually growing this brand and actually having people support your brand?
So it basically, like I said, it started off with just my friends, people in college were buying lashes from me because there wasn't nobody else like on campus at that time that was selling lashes. And so I would just have my friends like take pictures, tag me. I used them to post on the Instagram. And I would take pictures and use my own content. And at that time, I had no idea about like influencers and like how to do Instagram ads and all of this stuff. And so for a while, I was kind of at like this weird standstill of like, I'm making some money because my friends and people that know me are buying from me, but I'm not lit yet. And so it was one day, literally, I was at Target because I was still working my jobs in between. And I was at Target during winter break, and I was telling my friend, like, I don't want to be here. I really need my business to take off. Like, I don't want to work this job. And she was like, you need to start working with influencers. And this is my best friend to this day. Her name's Casina. I met her in college. She was like, you need to start working with influencers. I'm going to send you a couple for you to reach out to. And at that time, like, I don't know what you know about, like, makeup Instagram and stuff, but at that time, makeup Instagram was, like, at its peak.
Right.
And, like, YouTubers were, like, doing makeup tutorials all the time. All the makeup companies were, like, just getting, like, a whole bunch of traffic and attention. The makeup YouTubers, the beauty gurus, like, that community was huge. And so she pretty much introduced me into that. And then I started learning, like, who the it girls on Instagram were and, like, who the it girls on YouTube were. And I just started sending them a bunch of DMs, like, I have this lash brand. I really love your content. Would you be interested in wearing some of my products? And, like, I probably sent that DM 20 times a day. Like, no kidding. I sent that DM a lot. And I just reached out to all of these different people, and I was asking pretty much just to send them free product and what they posted. And they were like micro influencers and then like bigger influencers too. And so some of them didn't respond. And then some of them, a few did respond. And those were the girls who I sent product to. Right. And like these were girls who had like 5, 10, 20, 30,000 followers. Like a real big range from small to big. And they already were trying to build up their own content and build up their own following. So they were like, yeah, you can send me product because this is giving me product to do my content with. Yeah. So we were kind of helping each other. And from there, like I kept doing that, and more girls started posting us and more people started finding out about my brand. And I started getting an influx of orders. And I still remember like the day that really like changed it for me. There was this girl named MUA Brianna from like California, and she was Hispanic, and I sent her lashes, and she applied the lashes on her live, and she had like 40,000 followers, but they were super engaged followers. Yeah. And she applied the lashes on her live, and people started asking her like, oh, where are those lashes from? And she said my brand and pinned it. And then I started getting this influx of orders, and I was in class. And I was in class at Western, and I was like, where are all these orders coming from? Like, nobody even knows me. And then I saw a DM from her, and she was like, hey, everybody was asking about your lashes, and da-da-da-da. And then I seen that all the orders were coming from California. Right. And I was like, wow.
Let me ask you this. When that moment did happen, were you prepared for that moment? Because like you say, it caught you off guard.
I was not prepared because I didn't have a lot of money. So I was never buying my lashes in bulk.
Right.
So I had sold out real quick. Like after like the 6th order, I had sold out. And it was a specific lash called the eye candy lash, which is my most popular style.
Right.
And that was the one she put on. So that was the one everybody was ordering. And it had sold out super quick. And one thing I learned is that you're never supposed to sell out, like not during a time like that. So I was like, okay, I just put a whole bunch of more lashes on the site, but I didn't have them in my hand. And I had literally placed the order the next 2 days, and I used the money that I got from all the orders to place an order for a bigger order of lashes so that I could ship them all out. And so I probably made like, and that day I probably made like $500, which was great for me. Nice. And I literally made the order, like I said, 2 days later. So I was not prepared at all. but I got prepared.